Welcome back, my friends. Welcome to Wes's Side Story. So I'm continuing some videos on the 2005 Ford Freestar. Today, we're gonna drop the gas tank and we're gonna put in a new fuel pump. So come along for the ride. Let's see how we do this. Get yourself 2 heavy-duty jacks. Pull up the emergency brake. Pop your hood. There's a little lever right here. Pull up your hood. Grab your little thing. All right. Your prop. That's what it's called. Your prop. And we're going to disconnect our negative battery with an 8mm wrench. I am also going to set my back tires of my van up on ramps. All right, and just for starters, I put them beside the wheels, the rear wheels on each side. And now I'm going to take my jacks and I'm going to align them under the van. All right, and there's fins on that cross member right there. Make sure your jacks go up under there, and that'll keep it from being able to fall off of your jacks. See how it's up in the fins? You want both of them up in the fins. That'll help hold them on there. So, all right, now we jack it up. Easy does it. You want to jack it up even. All right, now lower them down on your stands. And I just kind of pump them back up a little bit to take the weight off of it. No worries. All right. All right. And there you go. Safety first, you guys. Safety first. All right. Well, I just found a little friend. All right, so now we're gonna pop our gas cap. All right, and these are 8mm. We'll take all them, back them out, which I'm just doing it with my fingers, but let me back all these out. And look, that's how that goes on there, so remember that. All right, come into the fender well. We're gonna take out these Phillips head screwdriver or screws. There's one right here, one right there, and one right there. All right, and there's probably one that you got to get with a trim tool. Pop it out right here. All right, so after pulling those screws out, you got, if you can see that, you got a little pried out piece there and one right there that you got to get out. All right, so after you get that piece out and that one down there, this is free and you can move it. So we're gonna move it out the way. All right, now we got the cover out and we're in here. There is an 8mm bolt right here to take loose. And then we're also gonna take loose this 8mm hose clamp. All right, so now get either a hand ratchet and some extensions with a 13mm socket, or if you're lucky, you can grab your air ratchet and you're gonna take some bolts loose. All right, so now we're on the driver's side of the van, and there are straps that run across your tank, and they're 13mm bolts. There's one right there and one right there. The one up here, the bolt is on the opposite side, on the passenger side. Before we drop the tank, I like to block it up and put another jack here, so it's an extra jack, and that way the tank just don't fall down. So all right, now we're gonna take the air ratchet, and I put quite a bit of extensions on there. All right, and there's one out. All right, and here we go. We're gonna do the next one. I don't know why this thing's like it's zoomed in. All right, there you go. All right, so if you see, I'm on the opposite side of the strap, and these straps, all right, and on the opposite side of these straps, there, you gotta turn them like that and they'll come out. So see, they fit up in there like that. You turn it, and that's how your strap holds on the opposite side that the bolt's on. All right, and just remember which strap goes where, because that'll make putting it back so much easier. All right, so now we got the last bolt, and this is the one hooked up over on the actual filler neck side. Now, the only thing holding it is that jack with that block. So while it's holding it up, I'm gonna go see if I can take off the filler neck hose over there so I don't damage nothing. Alright, so make sure you pull your filler neck loose from the tank. Alright. Alright, so the best of our ability, we're going to try to drop this tank. And there you have it. It's all down. And I left mine hooked up because I'm going to test it again, because I think I may have had my hose pinched, because this is the third time I've dropped this thing. Alright, so we got the main connectors, the electrical connector to the fuel pump, and it's right here. So we push down and pull that loose, and you're going to take this one loose. And then, so those two is all that you'll need to take loose. There is another one here on this one. I replaced this fuel line already, so I'm going to leave it. But it is normally a connector like this one, where you have to push in with a screwdriver to be able to pull it loose. And I'm sorry, on this one, you have to push in both green tabs, so both of them, like that, to pull it off. Now, for the electrical on this fuel pump, you also have to take loose this connector over here. So it's while the fuel, it looks like this is the return line for what's not burnt. So we're gonna pull it off. All right, once you got the connections loose, they will come out. And I've already taken the fuel line loose from the pump. So see, I've already replaced this pump. I just ended up with one with what I believe is a bad sending unit. So I'm putting a new pump in here. And this will be the third time that I've dropped this tank. So for this, you just unscrew this top plastic piece. If it don't start, you can take a screwdriver and a hammer and kind of tap it and get it to start turning counterclockwise to come off. Yeah, it's just getting this thing to start rotating, that's all. There we go. Man, I'll tell you what. This seal under here looks like it done swelled up. What in sealing? That'll make it not work.
Yes, it will.
Look at that. That seal's just hanging out. Looks like it's way too big. Well, that's alright. The new fuel pump assembly I got came with the new one. So I'm gonna pull this fuel pump out of here. All right, so that's what your hole looks like. And this is your fuel pump if you've never seen one. So I found the problem. This one somehow had a blowout right here in this hose. And that was keeping it from pushing enough gas to the engine to keep the engine running. We'd have it running, it'd be running good, and then you go to press the gas pedal and nothing. So basically fuel wasn't able to get up there. Well, now that this rubber seal is up here, it looks good. And on the, oh no it don't, it's way overhung. Look at that. That also is not supposed to happen. So not quite sure what's going on there either. But I do have a new one. So I will be replacing this one. I think I ordered these from rockauto.com. They have lifetime warranties. So I suggest if you're gonna replace a fuel pump, that you should get a lifetime warranty. All right, so you're gonna take your new seal and you're gonna fish it up onto the bottom, and it will seat right up under this lip. All right, so as you see, that seal is all the way around that, and it is perfectly seated on that lip. There's no room for error. It's not overhanging. It's not way too big. So that's how your seal is supposed to seat. And I'm just looking at the hose on this one. Everything looks good. It does not look damaged in any way. So like I said, third time's the charm. This van's gonna get fixed tonight. All right, and we'll unwrap your float. This float on the fuel pump is what tells the gas hand how much gas or how much fuel is in your tank. So we'll unwrap this. All right, just like that. So we come to the tank, and if you look, there's two grooves in there, and there's also some seats or some cutouts right here on the lip, and you also have those on the lip of your fuel pump. There's one and there's one. So you line those up and you make sure this thing stays as straight as possible when you're putting it in there. All right, and if you're like me, you got about 9 gallons of gas in your fuel tank. So you can get one of these fluid transfer pumps. I don't remember how much they are. I just happen to have one, and get some couple empty gas cans and pump that fuel out. There's a lot of other ways you can do it, but that is how I'm gonna do it. So I'll be right back with hopefully an empty tank and some full gas cans. All right, me and my buddy sat down here and we siphoned this gas out. There's about, I don't know, half an inch in there. So still probably 3-4 gallons, but it'll be all right to handle. So we got the new fuel pump. I'm about to sit it in there. So if you look at these ridges, you have to put this and this in those ridges, and then also line up these lips up here. All right. So this thing should sit down in there like this, but you gotta put your arm in there first, just like that. All right. See? Just like that. All right. Now, you take your blue ring and you fish it over your new wire. All right, sorry that was a mess. All right, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna hold this white piece down in place and turn this clockwise to seat it. And it's really hard to do one-handed, but just trust me, you gotta keep pressure on this and make sure that this ring does not cross thread while you're doing it. All right, when you get it done, and you have the tab seated properly, this is how it should look. These should be pointing that way, towards the, whatever, the return, I think. While you're in here, you could check all these other lines and hoses and everything to make sure that they're good too. Well, there we go. We got the fuel pump in there. All right. Now we're gonna push this gas tank back up in there. So we'll swing this that way and we'll push it back up under the van. All right, so we're gonna take this clip and let's kind of run these that way. Get them a little untangled because they kind of come twisted. All right, throw that way. And we'll plug this one in right here. Well, you gotta have it going the right way. There we go. You heard that clip. So there we go. We got that done. Now, this, I'm kind of going to wrap around this hose so it'll keep it where it needs to go. See? Just like that. Because you can't take it off without dropping the tank anyway. So that'll just keep it up where it needs to be and out of the way from any of the body or anything squishing it. All right, so now you got everything under here. Remember, I'd already replaced this fuel line, so I left it connected, and I'm running it with those wires and around this way so it can't get messed up, and it's gonna stay in this groove right here. We're not gonna pinch it on the body, and I'm gonna slide this on this, but first I need a hose clamp on it. All right, and I'm using a ratcheting 7mm socket to tighten this. All right, and this connection here is plastic on this fuel pump, so you just want it to get good and snug to where it's airtight. You don't want to over tighten it because then you're in a world of trouble. Be careful, don't snap it off either. All right, and I'm gonna put 2 hose clamps on it because I don't plan on doing this again. All right, and that's what I did right there. I put them go in two different directions to help close it off. So, alright, we got the line hose clamp. Now, we're going to jack this tank up. And remember, your filler neck goes up in that hole right there. So it's a trick. You got to kind of jack up the tank a little bit and put that through that hole. It always helps to have a good buddy to help you get it up in there. Alright, so we got a jack holding the tank up, and we're starting to put the straps in. Since this is the last strap you take off, we're going to put it up in there first. Alright, so with that jacked up in the middle, you can put this strap in there and this one. Alright, my phone died. But with this tank still jacked up, I got one strap on the tank. I'm going to go over and I'm going to put this strap in. Alright, there you go. Put that 13mm bolt. And I will say having an air ratchet definitely helps. Alright, so after putting your third strap back on, make sure that you come down here and you put your connectors back together. Alright, which you really can't do one-handed, but just make sure you put them back together. Alright, and this one should click in place as well as your hanger should. And there's a place over here to... Alright, so I got a little late on me, but I went ahead and got it down off the jacks. I finished putting all this back together. So just make sure you put it all back together like it came apart. Alright. And then put your gas back in it. And come in here. And there you go. She's running again. If this isn't reading right here, your fuel sending unit in your assembly is bad. So keep that in mind. Alright, she is purring like a kitten. Alright, reconnect your battery before you try to crank it. But you got to have so much gas in this thing before it'll fire. So alright, y'all, that's it for Wes's side story tonight. That's a fuel pump replacement on a 2005 Ford Freestar. So if you have any questions, need any tips, anything like that, I dropped this tank 3 times before making this video, so it was just meant to be. I really just had to make the video, I guess. That's what it was. So thank you guys for being my good luck charms, and if you like this content, smash that thumb button, and you know, if you want to subscribe for more content such as this. Alright, y'all have a blessed night out there.